Okay, today is the fourth day of September, and it is still hot as out there, and I am not liking it at all. I do not like hot weather, so I guess I got something to look forward to. It's going to cool off one of these days. Last time we did trade discounts, and we're going to continue that today. That was so much fun, and hopefully, I've got the book up here, I think. Seems to be. Now, how do I get to the next page? If I do next section, but does that always take you to the next page or it take you to the next section?
It takes you to the next section.
How do you get the next page in case it runs over?
You gotta like scroll down to get to the next page, which is really weird. It's either you're on 178 and you're on 179.
Oh, it's okay. I got you. I got you. Well, I guess that makes sense. That's what it says. I guess that makes sense. So we talked about trade discounts last time. We did just a single trade discount, and I need to point out a couple things here about this freight. So this is on or about page 180. Let's talk about these freight terms. You'll see something called FOB. This stands for free on board. This is an old term when shipping really happened on ships. So now a lot of stuff, at least inside the continental United States, goes on trucks. But anyway, FOB means free on board. And there's two ways of looking at this. If you have, if the freight is charged FOB shipping point, what it amounts to is, like, for example, here in this case, Argo produced something that IBM bought. If it's FOB shipping point, when it goes on the truck here, in essence, IBM owns it, and IBM pays the freight. So FOB shipping point, you just imagine that at the dock of the supplier, that's when it becomes the property of the person who bought it, and they pay the freight. Now, make a little note here in your head. There is no discount on the freight. Okay? Now, the other alternative is listed right below here. This is FOB destination. If the freight is charged this way, the supplier basically owns the stuff till it gets to the person who's buying it. So in that case, the seller is responsible for paying the freight. Of course, in one way or the other, they're going to get their money. So, and the only thing you have to remember about freight is to add it back in at the very last, after you take any discounts that need to be taken. Then, you add the freight back in. Okay? So, last Thursday, we looked at this whole concept of the single trade discount. Wonder why that's grayed out there. Last time we did a select all, didn't we? That popped it out. Well, at least it makes that part easier to read. So single trade discount, what you need to do here is remember we're going to take the discount, turn it into a decimal. It's given as a percentage, turn it into a decimal. subtract it from 1, multiply that number by the original invoice, that's how much you pay. Now, if you want to know how much you're saving, you don't subtract from the 1. You just convert the percentage to a decimal, multiply by the original invoice. That's how much you saved. Okay? So we worked a few of those problems, and I will get around to assigning a few of them. They're pretty simple. So now let's go down here and talk about this chain discount. So this is on or about, looks like it's at the bottom of 182. Yep, and 183 starts right there. Chain discounts, the book says, frequently manufacturers want greater flexibility in setting trade discounts for different classes of customers, seasonal trends, promotional activities, and so on. To gain this flexibility, some sellers give chain or series discounts. And this just simply means that the discounts are in a series of 2 or more successive discounts. Now they give an example here in the book. This example is 20/15/10. Now, I really wish they'd have done this a little differently, because this looks a whole lot like something we're going to do in just a little while. So you got to just pay attention to what you're looking at. But here's the way this works. Now, in the book, this top page 183, they go through this step by step. In this case, the example, our equipment, we're going to buy some office equipment for $15,000. The first discount's 20%. So they multiplied the $15,000 by 0.2. $3,000 is how much the discount's for. They subtracted that from $15,000. That leaves $12,000. Then they did the same thing here with the 15% discount. Now, this is the long way of doing it. How many people want to do it the long way? I didn't think so. Let me show you the simple way of doing this. So I'm going to switch back over here. 20, 15, 10. So we had, let me punch a button or two here. So this is going to be a chain discount example. So we're going to buy $15,000 worth of equipment. And our discount is 20/15/10, isn't it? So here's what we're going to do. 20% turned into a decimal is that. We talked last Thursday about this idea of the complement. So if we subtract that from 1 for 100%, we're left with what? 0.80. Okay? Now let's do the same thing for the 15%. So 15% is what? As a decimal. Hang on, I've got to get something to deal with my allergies here. So, D'Angelo says 0.15. So the complement, same process, subtracted from 1 for 100%, and that's 0.85, isn't it? Okay, we got one more to go. 10% turned into a decimal is? Okay. And just force of habit there, I add that other 0. Actually, to both sides of it. So find the complement. It's going to be what? Okay. Now, we got everything we need here to, how about, every time I make a mistake, I might as well just erase it because I'm never happy with it. To calculate the new invoice amount, here's what you're going to have. $15,000 was the original, times 0.8 times 0.85 times 0.9. Okay, calculator. I haven't opened mine up yet, have I? Oh, let's see. Passport. Business math. Copy. Yeah, I need to copy one over onto the desktop. Remind me to do that sometime. Doesn't look like I'm doing anything else. I know, it's hard to tell. Times 0.9. And you don't need these zeros there. I just put it there because I think it's pretty. So, screenshot, paste.
So you wanted to subtract all of the discounts?
Well, now, let's think about this. The discounts themselves are, I guess you could say we're subtracting them. Here's what the book did. This is the long way. Step one, they just dealt with the, see if I can get this. Oh no. I just wanted to unselect all. Oh no, that was a mistake. Careful what you click on.
I think I figured out.
I just wanted to click off so you could see this better. Okay? Here's the long way. Take the first discount, 20%. They turned this into a decimal, multiplied by the original amount of the invoice, and come up with the amount that's going to be subtracted because of the discount. It's $3,000. Then they subtracted that from the $15,000. That's where the $12,000 comes from. Then they applied the second discount. Same process. In this case, a 15% discount on $12,000 is $1,800. They subtracted that from the $12,000 and got $10,200. Then they applied the third discount of 10%, which is $1,020. When you subtract that from $10,200, you get the $9,180. So remember that number. What did we get? Did I get the same number? Yes. Well, I think if you look on down here, Gretchen, look. If you look on down here, this is the long way. Then they show you what I just got through showing you. Okay? It's right down below that. Yeah. Well, my point is, why bother with all this? You just need to know this. So if you have chain discounts, what you do is you convert each discount into its complement and then multiply all those complements times the original amount in one big operation. Now, this is the amount of the new invoice. Okay? If you absolutely want to know what you saved, with the discounts, you would take the original 15,000, subtract what your new invoice is, and you're going to get that number. Calculator. So 15,000 minus 9180.
Say 5,000.
Okay. So these are chain or series discounts. And it could be something like, maybe you were buying, maybe you're buying grills, like Weber grills, that you cook out in your backyard with. Okay. Maybe you're running, I think, well, there's a hardware store in Flemingsburg that sells grills. Happened to notice it one day. Ace Hardware. So they could go to Weber and say, I want these grills. And Weber probably would say something like, okay, here's the list price, but here's the trade discount is 30%. Okay? So this is like, I don't know, March. So time goes by, and maybe about September, Weber may say, if you want to buy some grills now, we'll give you the 30% we gave you before, but maybe an extra 15, because it's like, it's a seasonal thing. Not as many people buy grills this time of year, and we want to move some stuff. And so that's an example why you might run into this whole concept of chain discounts. And they're really pretty easy. Just do the complements, multiply everything together, and that's what your invoice is. If you want to know what you saved, just subtract that from the original figure. Okay? That's not too bad, is it? We can do this. Okay. So now what? Let's see what else is in the book. So we have a practice quiz. I don't know if y'all can read these blueprints if you want to. I don't pay that much attention to them. They might help you. I don't know. I clicked on next section. Next section here. All right. Now, moving along, we'll probably, hopefully, look at these two things today. The partial payments, I typically wait and do that like on another day. It's not that they're that hard, but I think you need a little time to digest cash discounts and credit terms first. Okay? So I'm in Learning Unit 7-2 here. And here's the deal. Whoever has possession of, or more, but whoever has possession of an amount of money for any length of time, that has some value to them. Okay? Now, here's my example. Suppose I sell $1,000 worth of whatever to Alyssa. Okay? Now, she could pay me immediately, or this is like the September the 4th, she might think to herself, okay, I'm going to pay him by the end of the month. Okay? So basically from the 4th, I forgot to run those off. I can do it from here. From the 4th to the 30th, she's got the money. Having that money is valuable to her because she can use that money for almost a month, and I don't have the money. Okay? So it makes a difference who's got the money. Although I'm eventually going to get it. Okay? Because I trust her. She's going to pay me. All right? But the question is, who's got the money? Okay? So that's where this idea of cash discounts comes into play. There's, it's kind of traditional that if I sell you something, I'll give you a few days to pay for it. Okay? But what if Alyssa's sitting there thinking, well, I've got the money, I could pay early. Okay? And I might be thinking, boy, if she would pay me earlier, I'd give her like a 2% discount because she paid me. And I didn't have to wait on the money. And now I've got the money and I can use it. Okay? That's the whole concept behind cash discounts. Who's got the money? So, let's look at this. All right, let's do a little more work while we're here. So I'm on somewhere in page 187 here, common credit terms offered by sellers. Now, notice here, we're going to talk about ordinary dating. And the interesting thing is this doesn't really use this table, I don't think. Nearest I remember. Huh, that's interesting. So watch, you see this here? Yeah, I guess it does do this, but a lot of it you can do in your head. Notice, these are examples. 2/10, N/30, and 2/10, comma 1/15, comma N/30. Let me show you what these mean. Can I copy those? Yeah, I can, I think. Let me decipher these for you. I'm going to start a new page. Paste. So, here's some examples. 2/10 means 2% discount if you pay within blank days. And what do you think goes into blank? 10. Very good. That's what 2/10 means. Now, doesn't this look like the chain discount thing over there? So you have to look carefully and see what you're looking at. Okay? N/30 means the net amount is due within 30 days. So we would say 2/10 net 30. Okay, so if you happen to pay within 10 days, you know, the seller will let you knock off 2% because the seller's getting the money early and they appreciate that. Okay? So this is a cash discount.
Okay, so the 2/10, 1/15, and 30, that's 2% discount within 10 days. And
Right.
1% discount within 15 days.
Well, yeah.
Or,
I'm going to tell you about that. You're getting ahead of me. You're stealing my thunder.
this is something I understand.
If you figure it out too early, I don't have anything to talk about. But you're right. So 210, comma 115 in 30 means 2%. Well, I don't know what I was writing there. 2% discount. I used to write pretty well. Honest, I did. It paid within 10 days. 1% discount. It paid, I do not know.
Well, I'll say you're pretty good with that eraser.
I am. I'm a wizard with the eraser. Get a lot of practice. It paid within 15 days. Let me tell you about my typing skills. Net within 30 days. I had one day of a typing class in high school, and then I changed my schedule. I learned that you're supposed to sit up, straight like this, and
Yeah.
I learned that. I actually I taught myself to type using a computer program. Okay, now I do all my own typing. Nobody types anything for me. But I just barely type more forward than I do backwards. So it's hard to get anything done. But I'm all over that backspace key. All right, I'm all over it.
Well, I took a computer class and I never had no kind of keyboarding at all, and so we started out with keyboarding. And my teacher told me about the end of the class, he said, I don't want you to take offense to this, he said, but I've never had no one get worse as the class went on. How do you not take that wrong? It's a good thing he was talking to me.
That just means you're an extraordinary individual.
Is that what it is?
That's my story, and I am sticking to it. Okay? So there's a description. Let's see if we can find ourselves. Now, keep in mind here, this is ordinary dating. There's wrinkles on this. But for now, let's just do ordinary dating. And I wonder if I can find a suitable end of chapter problem. This is learning what? This is 7.2 and then learning objective 1. Let me see if I can get to the end of the chapter where the problems are. Now I hit next section, it took me back here.
The end of the chapter problems.
How do you get to the end of the chapter?
Go to the last page or last section, and then like scroll all the way down.
You can click on the gray box and type in the number. For the end of chapter problems, it's 199.
Let's try that. Well, we went somewhere. Here we go. PDF printable. Huh. Let me see if I can find a problem here. See, now I've already forgotten which learning objective we were in.
7.2.
See, this really tells you right here. 7.2.1, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think this one will work.
At the very top of that, it has a PDF printable version.
I don't know what I did, but it flashed out there for a while. Here, all I want to do is this, and bring it over here. Paste. All right, can y'all read that? Kind of, sort of. You see it, Christy? Boy. I couldn't. Sometimes. See, I should be able to do this. Well, it only worked once. Next time I try it, it'll smack me. It'll smack me down because it's just playing with me right now. All right, so let's work this problem. Maplewood Supply received a $5,250 invoice dated 4/15/16. All right, we got $250 of freight. The terms are 410, 330, net 60. I don't know why that ampersand's in there. If Maplewood pays the invoice April 27th, what will it pay? And then B, if we pay on May 21st, what will it pay? Now, this is standard dating, okay? So here's what we're going to do. First, subtract the freight. No discounts on freight. So of the $5,250 invoice, $250 of it is freight, leaving $5,000. Okay? So that's what we're going to work with. Now, here's the way I do this, because I think it works better. April 27th is when we pay. 15th was the invoice date. And I always put the date we pay on top because when we look it up in this, it's going to be a higher number. All right, because I'm going to subtract. So what day of the year is April 27th?
Oh, 27. 86. No, I'm not. 170.
Yeah.
Okay. And April 15th is 105. So when you subtract that, how many days till we paid? Or till Maplewood paid? 12 days? So which, if any of these cash discounts does Maplewood qualify for? Well, yeah, they missed the first one, didn't they? They missed the 10 day. So now we get, or Maplewood gets, 3% discount because they paid within 30 days. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, boy, if they'd paid like 3 days earlier, they'd have got 4%. And since they missed 4%, they should probably just keep the money till like day 27 or something and then pay and still get the, you see what I'm saying? Anyway, this is what we got to work with. So now let's do this 3% discount. So turn 3% into a decimal and find the complement. The complement's going to be 1 minus 0.03, leaving us with what? 0.97. So, how about this? I was going to call this a new invoice amount, but it's not, because I'll show you in a minute. So, after discount, so $5,000 times 0.97, calculator. Clear? And so. $48.50. Now, are we done? No. Why aren't we doing it?
You gotta find out the discount.
Hmm?
You gotta find out how much you save.
Well, we could. But there's one other thing we also got to do. We got to add the freight back in. Yeah, we took it off up here. Now we got to put it back on. So the new invoice is, this is the reason I changed what I was going to call it there a while ago. The new invoice is plus 250. So, I missed the part where you took away the freight. Up here. Why? Because you don't get discounts on freight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's just what we do. Take the freight away and then just remember to add it back in. So on this calculator, I don't have to type the 4850 back in. I just do this. It takes the previous answer, which is 4850. Add 250 to that. So $5,100.
So that's the new invoice.
Yeah, that's what we would write the check for. Or Maplewood's gonna write the check for. Yep. So technically, all things considered, by paying before 30 days, we saved $150, or Maplewood did. Okay? So this is just regular dating. I think the book called it ordinary dating. You want to work another one real quick?
Well, you didn't finish that one.
Oh, we got another. If it pays on April or May 21st. All right, let's finish this. Now, just like I did before, I put the date where it was paid on top. So look up in our chart here. May 21st is 141. And we already know what April 15th is, don't we? So let's see, that'd be 6. Y'all get 36 days. So which discount do we get? That's right. So no discount.
You don't have to add anything else, do you? Not like the
No, we're just right at this point. We're back to the 5250. Yeah.
You don't actually have to work for
It did say what will it pay, so it's that's the answer. Yep. That's how much people would pay. So you can actually save yourself a little money by judiciously paying, at proper times. Well, if you think you're going to be able to pay after 13 days, try to squeeze it down to 9. If there's a discount within 10 days, think about it. You just do what you can. You okay with that? Well, I'll tell you what, let's I promise, put, a few of these out there. I try not to get crazy. Give you some practice. Looking, What page are we on? We were working back on like 185, 180 something, wasn't it? I just want to kind of review to you what's coming up next. Next section. Gosh, this thing is slow. All right, we were already there, weren't we? So what we did today, this was just an example of ordinary dating. There is some wrinkles on this. And this is one of them right here. Notice it says 310 net 30 ROG. ROG stands for receipt of goods. And in that case, the cash discount period receives when the buyer receives the good, not the invoice date. So that's a wrinkle we'll talk about next time. There's also end of month, and we'll talk about that next time. And there's partials here, and they're really not that bad, okay? There's just a few more steps involved. So we'll look at that next time. So I think this whole chapter is available out there. You can read over that part, and I'll try to remember to go through and pick out some problems that that you can look at. Okay. I would say let's go out and enjoy the great out of doors, but it's too hot out there.
It's hot. It's too hot to be happy.
All right. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Be careful.